What's happening, gamers? It's K-Mega405 live from the 405 where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers. Now, on BGST, I brought up a point in regards to what Phil said. I believe it was last year or it was the year before last. Can't really remember, but it was what he said about single-player games compared to multiplayer. And I understood the point because we all know that multiplayer games generate more money in the sense of because of their longevity. Their replay value is very high, while single player games isn't. But I didn't agree with the stance of what he was saying about single player games, like the importance of them. But he had to backtrack because not only because of what PlayStation has been doing with single player games, they've also made the adjustment on promoting these games and making them high quality. You know, regardless of my stance on how I feel about God of War, it's still a fascinating looking game, and it's a phenomenon. It's something that people want to play. It's got people buying PlayStation 4. So again, it's a good testament to what Sony has been doing this whole generation on marketing, while the Xbox has done hit and miss. And the reason why I made this video is to make the point of why Phil Spencer had to backtrack. Man, I don't think it was one of those things where he had to backtrack to try to appease anybody, but he realized the importance of single player games. And I do feel that the reason why we haven't had any of these sequels come back from the beginning of this generation is because he's seen what the future looked like. Remember, these guys know about what games are coming out before any of us have an idea of what's going on. So again, it makes sense to when you see what Call of Duty's doing, when you hear what Battlefield's doing, rumors about Red Dead having some kind of battle royale mode, how single player experiences, important as they are, but the real money is in multiplayer, and also with buying not the loot crate so much, but for DLC and for cosmetics. And that right there is, I think, where mostly a lot of these multiplayer games. Now, for me, it would be disappointing because I do like playing the stories. I think that with Call of Duty, the last story for World War II was absolutely amazing. It was great. But they're paying for big time actors to be in these games now. And Battlefield is doing the same thing when it comes to making these story games, and they make them adrenaline pumping. They're action packed. They're fun to play. But how many people actually are playing them, and how many people are just jumping in and playing on the multiplayer? So again, that's why you look at how gamers play. They have analysts. They see how everything is trending. So that's where I think where Phil made that assumption. But PlayStation has bucked the trend and has definitely stated that single player games is strong for them. Like I said on BGST, PlayStation does not want to get into a multiplayer game war with Xbox, because Xbox will win that war. But where Xbox is having the biggest problem is right now with the single player. Therefore, it's kind of changed the tide, and it's had Microsoft have to backtrack, or I should say Xbox staff. So that's the reason why I think Daryl Gallagher is there. Of course, we have no idea, but for me, the doom and gloom about Xbox is giving up, and they're just going with the whole hum, and they just want to get your dollar, but they just want to have you play on the X with no games. That's absolutely asinine. I know that it may seem bleak to some people. I'm not bleak, as much as I'm entertained by playing my Xbox, and for other people out there that doesn't really care about this whole console war topic. But again, single player games are needed, and this is not something I think that we should just jump off the ship and say it's all she wrote, get the life preserver. I think what it is that is having patience, just like the Nintendo's fans had to be patient with going through the Wii U phase. Now you see the Switch being at a great position now for what Sony's woes was going with the PlayStation 3, and from where it is now. It's the same thing that's happening with Xbox. These transitions with big companies and how they do things takes time. This is not an overnight fix. And as long as Microsoft hears us, I should say Xbox staff hears what the gamers are asking for, I think everything will be fine. But what are the gamers asking for now? There's so many narratives. There's so many changes with what at one moment what gamers want. Now gamers want something else. And that's why I've always said that if you have balance, then everything will make sense. Xbox needs to get back to being what the 360 was, and that is having a huge balance, you know what I'm saying, an abundance of different type of genres of games, because it can bring the Super Lucky's Tales, but it could also bring not only Recore, Sea of Thieves, but it can bring Rises, it can bring the Quantum Breaks, it can bring other older, better games, the Killer Instincts and things of that nature. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Of course, are you more into single player games or into multiplayer games? I'd like to hear your thoughts about this. Also, don't forget to check out and join the Patreon, man. We definitely would like to have you guys help out support the GRG podcast and the rest of the family, man, for sure. And don't forget to hit that sub and that like button. I'm going to see if I'm going to try to get it to work. I might have to just get in touch with YouTube. But anyway, I see how many likes and dislikes is when I look through the custom thing, the custom creation, whatever thing. But anyway, definitely appreciate the support. And y'all guys have a good night. Peace.
As a kid, I had a lot of money. Knotted up, rubber band money. Next to the Xbox, thrown in my Jordan box. I think it was my 13s, something that I rarely rock. White and black high top, I used to wear the high socks back when I was balling.